This war killed 40% of the people living in Germany. The death tolls are unknown, but we know that it ranges in the tens of millions. Possibly one of the most destructive events to happen on the European continent, and certainly one of the most disastrous singular events in German history, the war raged so violently that entire towns were depopulated. This was a world war before world wars because this war took place in the 1600s and involved every major European nation except for Russia. And unfortunately, the problem for Germany was that they were in the middle of all of these countries fighting. This is the 30 Years' War, and it is one of the worst and most brutal wars ever fought on European soil. What makes the 10 million person death toll even more staggering is knowing that the majority of the deaths did not come from combat. What makes this particular conflict so harrowing and rather scary is that many of these deaths simply resulted from society collapsing. You see, this was the late Middle Ages, and in many ways, a far more sophisticated time. This was no longer the Dark Ages of the post Roman collapse. European society was flourishing, the American colonies were established, and the European powers were global powers at this point. They believed that they were firmly in place of the new modern era, and here comes the 30 Years' War to show them how wrong they are. This was a brutal and complicated conflict that conjured up the old war crimes of ancient Roman and Greek times, sacking cities, mass plundering, raiding, and far, far worse. On top of the conflict, society began to crumble in the Holy Roman Empire, and on top of it all, we also get a little sprinkle of plague and famine on top of that. This war was so destructive that to this day, if you ask German people what the most destructive war in history was, you might actually get answers pertaining to the 30 Years' War over World War I and II. We're going to be covering the 30 Years' War in more detail on this channel as well as my YouTube channel, so make sure to follow for more. Thanks, guys.